It's time now for the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast, brought to you by nestbetting.com. Go to nestbetting.com. Love where you sleep for all your betting needs. We're talking about your mattress, your pillows, your sheets. They got a couple stores also in the Bay Area, but go to nestbetting.com. Use the coupon code Oakland to get 10% off your entire order. It's the bed that Kotsay sleep on, Ricky Henderson sleeps on. I know you got to go home yesterday and sleep on your bed. You had to feel pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, post game, I traveled down to San Diego. My daughter had an event at her high school, where she's graduating, and so blessed to be there for it. Obviously, family is important, and especially when your kids are moving forward and on their way to USC.
When you think about the way this season's going, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Obviously, it's a tough season, but for the mark of the manager and the coaches, it's like the grind continues. And I think something that if you are going to hang your hat on something, as we saw in the series, especially in yesterday's game, your team is fighting to the very end. There's no give up in your guys.
Yeah, we talked about that last year. And for those that are, followers of this show and care about this team, and the guys that are on the field, they should know that that's the message that I send. It's a representation of how I played the game. And when that doesn't happen, Tony, I get really, really frustrated. And you've seen that game in Tampa on Sunday. It's still stuck in my head in terms of effort, in terms of, just the attitude and the mentality, right? And yesterday was a great example of what we should be doing, what we can be doing, and that's just continuing to fight. Coming back from a 5-0 deficit against Ohtani, especially after the way he threw the ball for the first 3 innings, shows that character, shows that fight. And obviously we didn't come out on top of that game, but twice we showed the resiliency to come back and fight.
Oh, I guarantee you shocked a lot of people in baseball with that comeback, and it was so good to see. And I think what we're starting to see with your team is more offense, and the offense is gaining confidence. So it kind of leads me to, is there a sense in that clubhouse that, you know what, a winning streak is about to happen? You get the feeling that it is coming.
Yeah, I think we're definitely gaining momentum. I think we're playing better baseball. I think, as you talked about, some of the guys, especially the younger guys, are starting to gain that confidence, that they belong, as opposed to that, mentality of survival, to just be here. So offensively, as you mentioned, I think, from the numbers standpoint, someone made me aware that I think we have more hits than the Yankees, the Dodgers, which is saying a lot. And, you're looking at our record, obviously we're thoroughly, disappointed in where we're at from that standpoint, but the teams we have played, every single team that we've played to this point, is above 500. I think the Angels are 14-12. We could go down the list. Tampa, and Baltimore are both, in that AL East, at the top of the AL East. So we've had our challenges. That's not an excuse. We've had our opportunities to win some games that we haven't. And, the biggest thing for us is just to focus on that improvement, to continue to grow, and get better.
I say it all the time on the post-game show. I said it on TV yesterday. Sometimes little things can lead to really good things. And for me, with your club, when you talk about playing good defense, picking up the ball, throwing the ball, playing good defense, being in the right spots, pitchers throwing strikes, cutting down on the walks, it's like if you get better at the little things, it helps the big things. How much do you guys talk about that?
We talk about it a lot, and yesterday's a prime example. We had second and third in the 8th inning. The objective is to get the ball in the air. Kevin Smith hits the ball on the ground. Aledmus Diaz is running, and this is just bad break. The bat is literally laying right where the sliding lane is for him. It looks bad. Everything looks bad about the play, but it's the right play. The percentages are in our favor to score a run there. But again, we could have taken advantage of a couple opportunities there with runners on third. We weren't successful. So those are the things we're talking about, from a staff perspective. the ball that pops out of Capel's glove, maybe he gets back to the wall instead of colliding at the wall at the same time. So all these little things that to maybe the average baseball fan are going to notice. The coaching staff is focusing on them. We're here. We're going to work early. We're going to work hard every day to get these guys better at those little things. And again, the two areas that we really need to improve on, pitching and defense.
We look so much at OPS. We look so much at power. We want the slug. We want the on base. I just started looking at Brent Rooker's numbers, hitting over 300, 7 dingers, 18 RBIs in 19 games, over 1,100 OPS. Just talk about what you've seen with him. I mean, he's 28 years old, but it's like he's a young player, and like all of a sudden, boom, the light's gone on.
Yeah, when we claimed him off waivers, there was an excitement about Rook in terms of fitting on this team and giving him this opportunity. He had some success in his short time in the big leagues before he was injured with Minnesota. I talked to the manager there, Rocco Baldelli. He's a good friend, and Rocco he had nothing but great things to say about him. And really, I think the injury kind of set him back, and it's great to see him, taking advantage of this opportunity. He's, obviously hitting in the 3-hole for us. He had a great spring training. And what's funny about it, Townie, is if you looked at the last 2 games of spring training against the Giants, he looked like he didn't belong. And if you would have just rushed to make that decision and not put him on the roster, he still may not be here. And, but this kid has worked his tail off to be here. Like you said, he's 28 years old. And I think, he reminds me of Mark Canha-esque. Mark Canha was a Rule 5 guy for the A's, but, this is a waiver wire claim. So.
No, it's been a great story, and I knock on wood. We brought it up like going, somebody's got to go to the All-Star game, and this guy's start has been absolutely incredible. The balance that you're going to have with a lot of young guys, and young guys are going to be coming up. We keep talking about at some point Soderstrom, Geloff, and these guys are going to be coming. What is the balance for you as a manager with the veteran players, younger players playing time? Have you thought about that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime we're looking at it, you have to balance the performance, right? And then how we allow guys to go through their struggles, how we allow them to, develop and gain that confidence. So you're always looking for the right time to, give a guy a day off, the right time to put him in the lineup when you think there's a great matchup. And then having, Jace Peterson and Ledmus Diaz, who have so much versatility, they can play different positions, utilizing them in that role. As you're talking about, we may get more of these younger players on our roster. And, it's exciting. It's an exciting time if you're an A's fan looking at this roster with the Ruiz, with another younger, player who's had impact in Connor Capel, with Rook, with Noda. So, the tools are there. It's just a matter of developing them. I left out a few other. I mean, you could keep going, but the process has started when you look at, even from the pitching standpoint, bringing a Mason Miller and bringing a Luis Medina up to start. These are 2 young kids with not a ton of time in the minor leagues, and yet they're on the mound here for us in the big leagues.
Well, Ruiz, man, he is electric. I mean, when they on TV start putting up graphics that have you and Ricky Henderson on it, you're going pretty good. A key to me, you tell me, getting somebody who's got that patience, who can take pitches, letting them lead off, have that guy hitting second. I mean, I don't know what the number is. I know what he's on pace, but just talk about with Ruiz, it's like he gets on first. They got no chance to throw him out.
Yeah, talking to Phil Nevin, the Angels manager, post game, he had no solution really for it yesterday or this series. And, my big thing, Townie, is, you got to let this kid go. It's really electric. And it's difficult when we are trailing in games, if we're down 5-0 in the third or fourth inning, you're sitting there worried about running into an out. But it's just, we have to take that risk, and really that risk is small in terms of, Ruiz getting thrown out. This kid was very successful last year in the minor leagues. I think he stole 85 or 90 bases successfully. And if we can get him on base, we're going to let that tool go, and we're going to let him, do some incredible things on the bases.
Yeah, let's end on your pitching, because obviously we're all excited. You mentioned Mason Miller. JP Sears is getting better. He's really gone out there the last few outings and battled for you, especially in Texas, where you got the career high 11 strikeouts. I mean, we do have to be patient with the young pitching. Hopefully with the veteran guys, you're going to get Ruzinski back here very soon. You're going to get Blackburn back soon. But just talk about patience and what you're seeing with these young pitchers.
Yeah, you hit it right where you needed to with the word patience. My playing career for the 17 years that I was, fortunate to be in the big leagues and come up with a lot of younger pitchers, and I can talk about it from experience with the Josh Beckett, the Brad Penny, the Ryan Dempster, the AJ Burnett. These guys went through these struggles, and they learned and they grew and they got better. And I think that's, something to hang your hat on right now. It's difficult when you get here. I think it's really difficult as a pitcher, to have immediate impact, immediate success. There's just so many different variables that go into pitching here, and you just don't get away with a mistake, and that's what we're learning and watching. Right, Luis Medina, Mason Miller throw 97, 99, but when it's outer third, thigh high, it gets hit because they're the best in the world here, and they're learning that the location is equally as important as the stuff. But the positive is that they have the stuff, and they're going to improve. They're going to get better, and we're going to continue to instill the fact that, we're going to throw strikes and we're going to pound the zone, and we'll take the result from there.
I mean, think about it. You played in the big leagues for 17 years. I mean, how many times did you really ever face kids that were just coming up and effortlessly throwing 100 miles an hour? It was just, I mean, it's like, I don't remember that. I mean, did you face that a lot in your career?
No, most of the time it was the closers, Robbie Nin, you could go Kevin Brown had that type of velo consistently, 97. But in terms of the amount of velocity and the young arms that are continuing to come through the big leagues right now, it's pretty incredible.
It's like you coming out of center field at Fullerton.
Glory days, yeah.
By the way, they talked about that on TV on the Fox National broadcast. You got a little Golden Spikes love on national TV, just to let you know.
It's kind of them. It's a long time ago. It's ancient history.
All right, buddy. Great to have you back home. Have a good series. We'll see you down on the field.
All right. Thanks, Tony.